Ancient sages and spiritual masters have long emphasized the power of focused observation. To observe, we must first give our undivided attention. This means that when we direct our attention appropriately, we can bring forth the manifestation of the reality we desire. In this video, I will share with you how the divine power within us allows us to use our attention to create the life we wish to experience. For learning to direct this divine attention is one of the most powerful actions we can take as co-creators of our reality. So let us begin by exploring how our attention influences the reality we manifest. To truly understand how our attention shapes the version of reality we experience, we must first comprehend the flow of energy. Every time we feel stuck, as though we are moving towards something but it remains just out of reach, or when similar patterns keep recurring in our lives, like the same challenges, we need to recognize where the flow of energy becomes blocked. In life, energy is meant to move freely, but when it becomes stagnant, we are caught in repetitive circumstances, unable to progress. So, what directs the flow of energy? It is our attention. Wherever we direct our attention, energy follows. Our focus is like a beacon, guiding the flow of energy in specific directions. Many people are unaware that the nature of our attention is comprised of two main types, polar and nonpolar. Polar attention holds the power to both attract and repel. For every issue, when viewed from another angle, can reveal a solution, two sides of the same coin. This is what polar attention does. It attracts one outcome while repelling another. Now let's dive deeper into this concept. In addition to polar attention, there exists nonpolar attention, which is completely neutral. Nonpolar attention has the unique ability to dissolve reality, to bring stillness and peace to chaotic circumstances. In the context of manifesting quantum events in our lives, let us consider what this could mean. Imagine that we have two types of polar attention, positive and negative. When we direct positive attention towards something, life responds not to the nature of our feelings, but to the essence of what we are paying attention to. As I explained in a previous video, if we focus on something with hatred, we will attract more events aligned with that negative energy. Similarly, when we love something, we will draw more of what we love into our lives. This is the central truth that governs our experience. Human beings have been conditioned to live in a state of fear, to see the world through the lens of survival. This instinct has been encoded into our biology. We have been taught to survive above all else, and the most powerful survival mechanism is to eliminate and avoid any threats. This conditioning leads us to live in a state of constant defense, avoiding conflict, avoiding risks, seeking only comfort. As a result, many of us continue to manifest more and more of what we fear. Think about the stories we hear on the news, the narratives on social media. Fear spreads quickly because it grips our attention, and when our attention is focused on fear, we begin to act in ways that perpetuate it. Fear, anger, and pride are the chains that hold us captive, preventing us from seeing the true nature of reality. There are many individuals who, driven by pride, are willing to fight for what they believe in. While this desire to protect is commendable, it often blinds them to the greater truths. When we are angry or afraid, it becomes all too easy for others to manipulate us, leading us to act in ways that do not align with our highest good. This is how external influences can steer us toward actions we might otherwise avoid. The energies of fear, anger, and pride are what keep society in a state of imbalance, distracting us from our divine nature. When we focus our attention on what we fear, we attract more of it into our lives. The same holds true in our relationships. Many people find themselves trapped in cycles of the same type of relationship, drawn to partners who mirror past traumas. Their attention is locked on avoiding the mistakes they made before, which only serves to attract more of the same. At this point, we need to understand the transformative power of neutral or nonpolar attention. By learning to direct our attention away from fear and into a state of neutrality, we can begin to dissolve the negative patterns that have been programmed into our lives. But more on that shortly. For now, let us focus on the two main types of attention, positive and negative. Life does not judge our attention as either good or bad. It responds to the content of our attention. Whether we are focused on a situation with positive or negative thoughts, the universe responds accordingly. Consider a challenge in your life, such as a difficult situation at work or a conflict with a colleague. If we choose to perceive it positively, seeing it as an opportunity for growth, we are more likely to attract the energy and circumstances that reflect that belief. However, if we focus on the situation with negative attention, believing it will lead to disaster, we will inevitably draw more negative experiences into our lives. The key lesson here is that life does not care whether we approach a situation with positive or negative energy. It only responds to what we are paying attention to. If we believe that a challenge will help us grow, then our experience of that challenge will shift toward growth. On the other hand, if we are consumed by negativity, the situation will reflect that. Our mind interprets the world based on the attention we give it. When we view something through a positive lens, our mind perceives it as an opportunity. When we view it through fear, we see only threat. But why do we tend to focus on fear? Because we have been conditioned to see danger where there is none, to justify our feelings of fear, and to amplify them with our thoughts. This is a critical moment in our journey where we can choose to elevate our attention and let go of fear, embracing the divine potential within us to manifest the reality we truly desire. When we feel something, we feel alive. This is a natural part of our biological condition. The experience of emotions is an essential part of our survival. However, when we are in a state of fear, our minds start listing all the things that could go wrong, which often leads to a downward spiral. As we focus our attention negatively, we give power to those negative thoughts, and that's when they begin to influence our reality. The key issue here lies in the alignment between the heart and the mind. When we feel something negative in our hearts, our minds quickly generate thoughts that correspond to those feelings. These negative thoughts, in turn, manifest in our lives, drawing us into a reality where more negativity arises. This creates a loop where the more we focus on fear and anxiety, the more we experience it. But here's where the power of non-polar, neutral attention becomes essential. When we face an unpleasant situation and observe it through neutral attention, it enters our lives and passes through without attaching itself to us. It holds no power over us. For example, in the face of adversity, we can look at it with acceptance. There is neither positivity nor negativity attached to it, but rather a calm recognition of its presence. In this way, we remain on the same path, unaffected by it. The situation simply dissolves. Most people resist their past traumas and fears by giving them negative attention. Think about how we react when something unpleasant happens. We often try to run away from it because the emotions are intense and difficult to handle. But in resisting these feelings, we only make them stronger. We give power to the very things we wish to avoid. Resistance creates persistence. What you resist will persist in your life. By continuously resisting the things we dislike from the past, we create an ongoing cycle of trauma. We live in that place of pain, and as a result, situations that reinforce that pain continue to show up. The divine truth here is that every experience has two sides. It is up to us how we choose to perceive it. The choice is always ours. Now that you understand this, let's explore how you can use this knowledge to create a new reality for yourself. The first step is to combine polar and non-polar attention. This is vital. There are 3 essential steps to using your attention effectively, and if you follow them, you will find that all the energy you devoted to negative attention will dissipate, leaving you with more energy to fuel the positive reality you wish to create. Let's explore how this works. Step 1. Acceptance. When we are faced with a situation that feels overwhelming, as though we've hit rock bottom, the first thing we must do is accept that this situation has happened. Acceptance is the key to overcoming resistance. You cannot be in a state of resistance and acceptance simultaneously. Acceptance is the antidote to resistance. Understand this. Acceptance doesn't mean that you are passively accepting defeat. No. You are simply removing the barrier that prevents the energy of your desires from flowing into your life. The truth is, you might be standing in the way of your own manifestation. By accepting the current moment as it is, you allow the natural flow of life to occur. Imagine that your worst-case scenario has already happened, and you fully accept it. In that acceptance, you release the power that fear holds over you. The fear of the worst-case scenario is no longer controlling you. It is a simple act of surrender, not to defeat, but to divine wisdom. This is a critical point. Many people fear that accepting the worst will only attract it. But in reality, the opposite is true. By accepting it, you stop feeding it with resistance and fear, which only gives it more energy. In acceptance, you neutralize the negative energy and allow the situation to pass. This is the power of neutral attention. Acceptance is a neutral act that clears the way for new possibilities to arise. Step 2. Seeing the blessing in disguise. The second step is to realize that any setback or unfavorable event might actually be a hidden blessing. Life events are neutral by nature, and it is the content of our attention that gives them meaning. Instead of seeing a situation as something bad, try to perceive it as an opportunity, a potential blessing that is unfolding. Could this event be a sign of divine protection? Perhaps something is happening to shield you from a greater harm. Consider this. Maybe there's something in that event that the universe or the divine presence is guiding you away from. If you missed that bus, maybe it was to keep you safe from a potential accident. If you lost that job, maybe it was to make space for an even better opportunity. How do you know? It's easier to see this once you have accepted the situation. When you accept what has happened, you begin to see beyond the surface and notice that there may be a higher purpose, a divine hand at work behind the scenes. You don't always see the full picture, but trust that the universe is guiding you to where you need to be. This approach requires trust, a trust that is rooted in the understanding that the universe, or whatever divine force you connect with, is always working for your highest good. Every experience is part of the greater divine plan, even if we don't fully understand it at the time. Trusting in the flow of life, knowing that every event has a purpose, allows us to move forward with peace, knowing we are being guided. If you're currently in a state where the wound is fresh and something difficult has just occurred, don't expect yourself to immediately find blessings in disguise. The first step is simply reaching acceptance. Acknowledge that it has truly happened. In this moment, don't force yourself to look for the positive just yet. Acceptance is your first point of healing. Only when you begin to find a neutral space can you start thinking about the potential for growth and how this situation could be part of a greater plan. The final step is to redirect your attention continually to what you truly desire. When you achieve a state of total acceptance and balance, you will find that your attention is freed from the grip of negative thoughts. At that point, you can consciously choose what you want to focus on. When you become proficient in redirecting your attention, you become unstoppable. Nothing can hold you back. This is the process that determines the path you walk, the quantum events you manifest, and ultimately, the reality you experience. And it all begins with your attention. There is a deep and ancient wisdom behind the emphasis on attention in many spiritual traditions and philosophies. In every major system of thought, be it yoga, meditation, or the teachings of great sages, attention is highlighted as a sacred tool. The act of paying attention is more than just mental focus. It is the act of observing the world and yourself with awareness. In this process, we combine non-polar attention with acceptance. We observe the situation neutrally, neither judging it as good nor bad, simply acknowledging that it exists. Then we begin to consider how this event may hold a hidden blessing. After this, we move into a state of equanimity, where we focus our attention on what is desired. This process is incredibly powerful. It's one of the most sacred and transformative tools we have at our disposal to create the life we want. As co-creators of our reality, we hold the key to shaping our experience. Attention is our most potent tool. When we learn to direct it effectively, we can manifest the life we envision. So here's the message I want to leave with you today. If you're feeling down, allow yourself to accept that feeling. Don't suppress or push it away. Once you're in a place of acceptance, you can begin to shift your focus toward what you truly desire. Many people try to avoid their emotions or even attempt to change their state by force, like repeating positive affirmations while resisting the negative emotions they feel. However, this can backfire. If you're resisting something, even with positive thoughts, you're still engaging with resistance. This resistance only prolongs the cycle of suffering. This three-step process, acceptance, redirection, and choice, when practiced consistently, has the power to transform your life. By learning to accept, redirect, and choose what is desired, you will release energy that was previously wasted on resistance. Instead, you will use that energy to fuel the creation of the reality you wish to experience. Remember, to accept is not to surrender to defeat. It is to recognize the present reality for what it is, and from that place of understanding, move forward with intention. It is in this space of acceptance that our true vision becomes clear and the path to our desires unfolds. By embracing the worst-case scenario and surrendering resistance, we free up energy that was once locked in struggle. And then, our attention becomes the driving force that propels us toward transformation. We shift our focus to what we desire, and reality itself begins to reconfigure in response to this new alignment. As co-creators, we are divinely endowed with the power to choose our path, shape our experiences, and determine our destiny. True transformation occurs when we consciously direct our attention to what truly matters in our lives. Move forward with clarity, confidence, and purpose, for you are the architect of your own reality. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If this video resonated with you, I invite you to like and subscribe to our channel, Quantum Aligned, and share this message with others who may benefit. Don't forget to leave a comment below with your thoughts, reflections, or experiences. I look forward to hearing from you. Take care and see you soon.